Welcome back to Celebrity Corner. I'm your host, Dorothy Cascerceri. Sure, the entertainment news outlets have given us plenty of behind-the-scenes coverage of the Oscars, but there's no better way to see the night than through the eyes of the stars via their Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook accounts. Joining me tonight to chat about some of the social media highlights of the night is Greg Litley, Director of Strategy at Iced Media in NYC, and Colleen Giannoni, Director of Social Media for Element Associates. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So, social media was a huge part of the Oscars this year, correct?
Totally.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about the selfie heard around the world.
Epic.
The selfie of all selfies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'll never take a selfie again because it will never compare to what Ellen DeGeneres did with all of those A-list celebrities, Brad Pitt, Angelina. Tell me a little bit about kind of, you know, it broke Twitter, is this right?
Well, it officially broke Twitter in terms of the counter. Twitter actually had to go in 45 minutes into the selfie going live because it had already hit 1 million. And actually had to extend their numbering so you could see all of the correct metrics.
And it was retweeted over 2 million times.
Yeah, well, as of
2.6 million.
Yeah, and as of now,
40 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
as
that
of
was
now,
then.
It's
probably even more than that.
It's over 3.5 million now. Yeah.
Why in your opinion, Colleen, why do you think social media was so important to the Oscars this year? They clearly were really pushing social media engagement.
I think because it gave people the average media consumer, the person sitting at home, who's also the person going to the box office and who's paying for those tickets to see those movies, see those stars, to really be a part of this process. Something that not obviously prior to social media's onslaught, you weren't able to do that. So it really kind of opened it up and gave participation to the average person, and you kind of felt like you were there with them and laughing hysterically when Ellen's pizza, her Spicoli style, as they were calling it, reference to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. If anybody's seen that, it kind of threw back to that, and you could kind of laugh and join in the actual process and the whole awards.
It basically personalized the entire experience.
It really did.
And whether or not you had 16 celebrities in a selfie, or you saw Jared Leto taking a selfie of himself on the red carpet, it totally made that experience more humanized.
Without a doubt. So let's move on to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Poor Leo.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Exactly.
So these hashtags were trending. Pray for Leo, poor Leo, give Leo an Oscar. I mean, he's been nominated 4 times. He hasn't won, and people on social media were outraged.
Yeah.
His fans were out in full force on social media, and there's 2 different courts. There's the Academy, who actually gives the awards, and then there's the court of public opinion, which tends to play out on social media now. So they were out in full effect, and they thought he should have won, and they took to Twitter, they took to Facebook, and they wanted their voice to be heard.
They even added to Tumblr. If you just kind of search the poor Leo hashtag on Tumblr, you would see all of these created GIFs of him crying, and then the award being taken away from him.
I saw that. So, it's like him in the movie Romeo and Juliet.
Exactly.
He's really crying because Juliet is dead, but he's crying next to an Oscar laying in the casket.
It's
Hilarious.
it's Leo crying face on repeat.
Oh gosh, I love that. And what also the other thing that's interesting is there was a study done that showed that the social media sphere, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, if it was up to social media, The Wolf of Wall Street would have won for Best Picture in a landslide. Of course, we know 12 Years a Slave was the winner for Best Picture, but what are kind of your thoughts about the idea that people kind of have a say on Twitter now about the Academy Awards? Should the voting? I mean, it's not the People's Choice Awards.
It'll never, it'll never go that way.
Should social media be able to influence the Academy in any way now?
I think it's definitely important. I mean, you feel as though those are the people that are actually people that are tweeting and are putting their opinion at the forefront. They're the people that are actually going out to buy the tickets to these films. So it's not surprising that such a box office hit like Wolf of Wall Street won public opinion as opposed to 12 Years a Slave, which was more of an indie hit.
Right, and that oftentimes does happen with Best Picture. It's kind of the more mainstream, the less mainstream film that wins. Okay, let's talk about John Travolta. Poor John Travolta.
This was kind of amazing.
Okay, so there's now a Twitter account called Adele Dazeem. Okay, which has
over 6,000 followers right now.
6,000 followers.
And there's other accounts too. There's multiple Twitter accounts.
It's an amazing parody account.
It is actually hilarious. He tweeted, It's Spam Bullock instead of
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spam Bullock
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
Sandra
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So poor John Travolta. He has dyslexia, and that's why he misread the name.
Well,
but
you would think he would, in rehearsals, he would memorize the
He
name.
would have practiced a little bit. You
Yeah,
know, you had one job to do: go out, announce the singer Adina Menzel.
But what I love from
she
this,
comes on, does her
yeah,
thing.
What I love from this is not just the parody account, but also BuzzFeed now has a John Travolta Say My Name generator, where anyone can go in and plug in their name, and then it basically translates it exactly
I
to
was
how
just
John
checking
Travolta would
Facebook,
say your name.
and it's all over the place. Everybody's
funny.
doing it.
Oh
What
my
your
funny.
name would be,
Yeah.
John Travolta.
My name would
Iced.
be like Gabriella Trititi. So it's funny.
Oh, it turned
it's
you into a
funny.
woman.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
got it.
Even
yeah.
better.
Oh my goodness. Now, in terms of this whole idea of people creating these Twitter accounts, we saw
Parody.
also Angelina's leg when she
yes.
had that very
leg
high
bomb,
slit
yes.
dress. What's the incentive for people to do this?
Well, there's
sort of
also
thing?
a Jennifer Falls.
Oh,
which
right,
is,
because Jennifer
with Jennifer
Lawrence-
Lawrence,
She
she falls
fell again.
everywhere. She
Right.
fell during the red carpet.
Right,
so,
she
yeah.
fell up the stairs last year at the Academy Awards, and then
She
she
fell
fell
on the
down
red carpet.
on the
And
red
the red
carpet
carpet.
this year.
Yeah.
I mean, are you following these accounts? Do
I
you
mean, I
follow
think it
them?
just adds to, so the whole idea of kind of, tweeting and broadcasting during an award show is that idea of a second screen experience. And these parody accounts are born directly out of what's happening in real time. So I think it just kind of furthers along that like audience participation factor.
And
Right.
You know what? They're funny, and their
Yes.
people are creative.
And they're lighthearted.
They're
not-
lighthearted.
yeah.
They're usually not meant to,
Yeah.
they're just, it shows people's creativity who are actually maybe not out necessarily
it's
in the
so
creative
funny.
fields.
It's
but
so
it's
funny.
hilarious. So yeah, you do follow it for a little while.
Yeah,
usually,
it's
and then maybe
unbelievable.
not, but yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I love it being an interactive experience watching the Oscars now. How many people were tweeting or Facebooking or Instagramming in our studio audience? Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't just us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's really unbelievable that now, people can interact. You don't have to have a party and have everybody over and eat snacks and
global
pop
cocktail
chips.
party.
You can have
Yeah.
everybody over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I
Thank you.
really appreciate it. And up next, it is giveaway time. Stay tuned.